everyone, a very warm welcome to yet another video on our YouTube channel. I'm Shrishti, the co-founder of Women for World, a community which Komal and I started about 5 months back with a vision to inspire women to travel more, empower them to break the societal barriers and follow their passion. If you guys want to know more about our vision, who we are, then you can check out the link given in description box below for further reference. So without any further ado, let me introduce you to our brand new chat series Women in Travel, where we will be focusing on issues faced by not only women but by everyone who belongs to this industry, while providing certain solutions to the given problems coming directly from experts from India and the world with great expertise in the field. So our today's topic is really close to our heart, as this is something that made us start our community at the very first place, which is diversity in tourism. This is something which is very less talked about but yet very much prevalent in the society or in the industry. And to address this topic or this and to have this discussion today, here we have a person, here we have this diversity researcher, a trainer, a communications coach, an avid reader, violin lover, a solo traveler. This is not the list of people that we have invited for the talk today, right? This is just one single woman with all these qualities all together. We're so pleased to have you, Prachi, today with us. And thank you so much for accepting our invitation. Over to you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. That was a generous introduction, if I may say. And when you told it and I was listening, I was like, okay, is that me? Is that me? Is that just me? Then I was like, okay, yes, it is just me. So thank you for this generous introduction.
Prachi, to start with, we would like to know, how did you manage to achieve all of this?
That is a descriptive question, and thank you for that question. And there are tons of stories behind who I am today, but all of them are, directly or indirectly connected. So let me begin with the first thing that, our topic, diversity in tourism. So I was a numbers person, I did my master's and bachelor's in accounting. So I was an accounts and finance person. And while I was doing my master's, I started traveling around because, the place I'm born and brought up at doesn't really has the concept of female traveling at all. It is not like only young girls or solo, girls are not allowed. The concept of solo women traveling is just absent. So from a place to there, and when I was in Pondicherry, I did my master's from there. I started traveling around with my friends and, colleagues. But as I started traveling more and more, I started meeting other women travelers, other solo travelers. And I asked them the same question about their travel experiences. Turns out the whole industry is excluding a percentage of women who are traveling alone. So every solo female traveler told that, okay, they have privacy concerns. They get asked a lot of questions which are not related to the concept where they're at. And they have personal questions, intriguing, weird, uncomfortable questions. So I was like, okay, fine, let's do something about it. And then I started, coaching hoteliers about how they should be less stupid and more inclusive.
Right.
Yes, because that is what my coaching was about.
Right.
That is the funny thing. Yesterday, I was talking to a trainer and I told her that I started giving diversity training when I did not know that the coaching I'm giving is called a diversity training. So that was a funny thing which happened. So I started because I never called it training, and since I was pretty young, no one paid me for it. So I was sitting around with the staff and talking and telling them that, this particular thing you just did, you shouldn't do that. So they would just tell me the problems. They would just tell me how to behave with a solo female traveler. And I would tell them that whether that is wrong or right, or, how to be a better host. That's how it had been going. And then I came to, IIT, and then I discovered this topic that, okay, this is what I have been doing for 1.5 years now, has a term for it.
Right.
And then I began my PhD in diversity training. And from there, I met a lot of people in the area, and then I became inclusive communications coach, where you see me right now.
Right.
And recently I have accepted a position of diversity strategist
Right.
in a management consultancy firm based out of Singapore.
Sure.
So yeah, that's there.
It's amazing. Like, this is so great to hear. I was going through the report of UNWTO on women in tourism, and there was a statistics where it says like 39% of women are employed in broader economy, and out of this 39%, 54% are employed in tourism industry. Like, according to the number, it sounds huge, right? But with all the men in the upper hierarchy of this industry, and like, even it is not even considered to be safe. Like, people would be like, where are you going? What is this industry? It is not even safe for women. So where do you think women stand in tourism industry? What is their position in the tourism industry?
That is a very interesting question. Thank you for that. Because I would like to pick a statement you just made. If you see at the numbers, we dominate the industry. 54% is actually a good number. More than half of the industry is by female employees.
Right.
But then, as you said another sentence, the moment it comes to decision making, women are not there. So if you see the tourism landscape right now and where we women stand, 100% of the job we create or we do or we are employed in are not not 100%. I think 100% would be exaggeration. 90% of the job women do in the tourism, 90, that's for sure. 90% of the work we do is not strategic in nature. It is routine. Right. It doesn't involve analytical skills. It just involves a delivery skill.
Right.
You walk into a hotel and 99% of the time you will see a woman receptionist.
That's
a
true.
female attendee.
Right.
Okay, room service, boys will be there, but when the face of the industry on the ground is female, but on paper always male. Yes, because you see the advertisements made by big brands. You will see a group of chefs and those people who are supposedly contributing more to the tourism landscape. They all are men. They are not women.
No.
So as a female, I think the industry needs a little bit of reshuffling, because the amount of prejudice people have that we are caring in nature, we are nurturing in nature, that is brought in every time. You talk about decision making and you are like, no, women are good in caring, so you should do something which relates to that. Right. I think it is time to address that and separate that. We are caring, we are nurturing, but that does not mean we can't make decisions. That does not mean that we can't be in analytical roles. That does not mean that we can't take supervisory positions. We don't need to be, we are proud to be the face of industry, right? Exactly. It's not bad to be the face of industry, but it is terribly wrong to just be the face. We need to be arms and legs and mouth and ears and hair and everything. Right. We need to be everything else as well. We can't just be the poster person. So yeah.
Yeah, that's more.
I hope I answered your question.
Yes. Because again, this is more of like psychology that we live with, right? More than Indeed. What is there in front of us. This is how it's happening. Like, it's been so long that women are leading in many spheres, like at many places, but still it's the mindset which hasn't changed, or maybe people are not ready to change it. So yeah, this is so hard to...
I do agree that people are not ready to change it. And you know what the glitch here is? Even women don't think that they can. That is, I think, the biggest problem. If you, your next question, if you have the next question, that what is the problem? Why is it not happening? I think it is a very big problem that this stereotype exists. But a bigger problem than this stereotype is that people want to fit in the stereotype instead of challenging it.
Right.
So instead of giving in the situation that, you know, you're nurturing, you're caring, so do the job. You're like, okay, I'm nurturing and I'm caring, but I want to do other jobs as well. No one does that. No one counter questions that stereotype. So until that happens, I think we'll just be the face. You know, I saw a post on, Facebook few weeks back, which said that patriarchy is not about men. Patriarchy is a system, and women can support the system as much as, you know, men do. And I strongly agree. Definitely, there is a huge role played by men. It's not that it's all, women's problem. But a big contribution is also made by us. By us, not to put the blame on someone else. It's by us, because people like us are, okay, we are making a difference. I am taking a step, you are taking a step. You founded the organization, I'm trying to change some things. But there are many of us who are like, no, I don't really think I belong. I don't think I can do that. I don't think I belong. I don't think I have certifications. I don't think I have qualification. We have so many limitations on our own capacity. We don't want to experiment. We don't want to take this step. So yeah, when I started traveling and when I started going out with, especially when I began travel, I was traveling with boys, right? And in our society, that is a big taboo. Big deal. It still is, Even now when I travel with boys, because now I have not boys, it's like colleagues. We travel for conferences, we travel for meetups and all those things. So I can't have that Mahila Mandali all around, right? I can't have that.
That's
so
true.
When I travel, it's like my parents know and my parents support it. But at the end of the day, if I would not have supportive parents, that, at least they accept it. They don't understand it, but they accept it. That my parents still say that, why can't you go with a girl? But they don't oppose the idea that I decided to go with a boy, or I decided to ignore the gender. So it is not about understanding, it is about acceptance. So if my parents would not be accepting that, I think I would not be here at the first place. Exactly. It would have been super hard. So yes, at the end of the day, or maybe I should say at the beginning of the day, it is about the place you're from and the culture, because it impacts. And it actually, if I talk a little bit research here, it actually impacts the way you behave on your travel. Because if you are from, 1 second.
Sure.
Family. The travel, when you are from a very restrictive culture, let's say, your family or your place has a system of too much restrictions. You have been born and brought up in a very restricted family. Kahan ja rahi ho, kab aogi, kiske saath ja rahi ho, kya karne ja rahi ho types. Even if you didn't feel bad about it, let's imagine a utopian world where women liked restrictions.
Right.
Okay. Even if I was from a utopian world and my family was like super close and super restrictive and I enjoyed it, or I was comfortable with it, if I would travel, it would get reflected in the way I choose my destination. It will get reflected in the way I choose my hotel. It will get reflected in what I do on my travel. So basically, people's travel behavior is impacted by people's own culture, and research shows that. So,
yeah, thank you so much for putting so much light on this. Thank you so much. And so moving on, what do you think how COVID-19 has impacted women in tourism industry?
Terribly. That's like one word story. That is like terrible. Women were already like underrepresented in the decision making roles, but now it's like the whole industry has got a excuse that, you know what, this is a very difficult situation, you can't handle it, so move away kind of thing. And then again, it has been historically hard for women to procure business. And as part of organization. I'm a part of World Women Tourism,
Right,
which is
yeah.
basically the organization is built around the idea of uniting women to harness the community resource, because it is very difficult for women if they're alone. If let's say that I am a consultant, I'm a hospitality consultant, I train people and I provide services. If I'm working all alone, let's say that I have business cards, I have website, I have a fully functional website, but at the end of the day, since I am alone, people have a tendency to undervalue women's contribution, and that is very, very very, very obvious in tourism and hospitality sector. So COVID-19 has impacted this particular feature a lot, and due to this, women have lost, like women-owned businesses have lost a ton of more contracts and service cases than men-owned businesses. And then again, I am a lady. I was recently giving a training, and a lady shared that she came in the industry in January, expecting that this is going to be an awesome year.
Right.
And she had taken a loan for starting a business, and now imagine her situation. She had hired 4 staff, and it is terrible.
Right.
And since women tend to have low credibility in the industry itself, it is very difficult for her to recover. And that is how COVID-19 will and is impacting women.
So now, to move ahead with the last question. So here it says, like nowadays we are seeing a lot of travel companies coming ahead to reduce the gender gap that is prevalent in the industry. So to take an example of Intrepid Travel, an Australian brand, there they started this initiative where they have made the gender ratio of tour leaders 50-50 by 2020, and not only that, they have also hired women on the upper hierarchy of the organization. So we can see a lot of initiatives like these happening all around the world, right? But what is there happening in India to reduce this gender gap in the industry that we are having?
It is a very good question, first of all. Thank you for that. But when you talk about these initiatives of including women and making an equal platform for men and women, and for all sexes for that matter, I think India is lacking a lot of things. But yes, there are definitely tons of companies. We have one of our collaborators is Rashmi Chadda. She is the founder of Vovo Age.
Right.
And another one is Zinal Doshi, the Flapper Life. So there are definitely a segment of tour companies coming up specifically for women. But if you see on a large scale that there is an institutional reform happening, we don't have that. We do not have that. But yes, definitely the best part is in the past 5 years, if you take the data of past 5 years, the business by women dedicated to women, there is a company called Pink Travel, there's a company called Pink Hotels. I think it's based out of Bangalore. It's based out of Bangalore, and it provides a room only to women, and it has a cab service from to and from airport, which is driven by women. So yeah, to make more inclusive, to make the industry more inclusive, definitely there should be organization like you have, Women for World, and then there are we have our own organization called World Women Tourism. Then we have and we have these organizations, Flapper Life, Vovo Age, community which not only supports women, on the ground level, but also celebrates them, celebrates their stories, celebrates their contribution. Because at the end of the day, things which are seen are the things which are growing. Things which are seen will grow. Right. Because if you are a seen person in the industry, that okay, fine, women travelers are a segment, they are seen, They are celebrated on pages, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and all of those things. So people who are doing business will automatically want to capture that strata. They will be like, okay, let's make some changes so that more women who are traveling come to our place, come to our business and maybe stay at our place, dine at our place. So they automatically will change their own policy. That is one way of doing it, making women visible.
Right.
Another step is, approaching from the back end. It's like you train people, diversity training. You train people for being inclusive so that the people who are in the industry, people who are traveling, people who are trying to break in the industry, don't leave the industry, don't leave the place because of SAR experience. So that I think are the most, two important things which we can do to make it more inclusive. One is the visibility, increasing the visibility, and another is diversity training. I think diversity training, I would say, but diversity management is like a bigger umbrella term because it is more than training. So yes, diversity management within the tourism organization, and yes, those two to make our industry more inclusive.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your inputs into everything and to make this really, really fun. And I personally learned a lot from you. Thank you so much for coming and for giving your inputs, for your valuable inputs. And we are so glad to have you today here.
Thank you so much. Those were generous words, I would say. Thank you so much for having me. It is great to share information. And it is one thing I feel really lucky about when people ask me to share about these questions about a lot of things which everyone experiences. It is one thing that I feel kind of blessed, I feel blessed that I get an opportunity to share my thoughts, because not everyone does that. So yeah, thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for taking out time for us here. Yeah, it is so great to have you and to learn from you. Thank you so much, Prachi.
Thank you.
We hope you all could gain something out of this amazing conversation and it helped you to understand the industry and its dynamics in a better manner. If you have any queries or need any assistance or to be a part of our team, you can write to us on the email address mentioned below. Till then, stay safe, stay healthy, and keep inspiring.